of hook thumb, whether it's a thumber, a hook thumb, overhand wrist, or Brody calls it chicken wing, right? But it's really overhand wrist. So off of those 3 grips, you can come up with any different variation of throws. Wayne was talking about earlier about doing an upside down finger. You might be stuck behind a tree where you can't go left or right, and you have to go over. So that's where we used to call this just a
Hammer throw.
Hammer throw, right?
But on the lighthouse, when you're close to the lighthouse, that's a much better throw than trying to throw low.
There you go.
Because the lighthouse basket is above your head. So when you throw with that to try and go 6 feet, it's much easier. But that's where you'll use it on this club.
So one of the great things about disc golf versus traditional ball golf is our disc can curve, and besides flying through the air, they can roll. And one of the things we were talking about earlier is if let's say there's a tree there, and you can't get to the pole holes over there, right? So how am I going to get there? I can throw, now this is just a small scale here, but this is where you can use one of your grips. This is a backhand grip. You can throw a little roller where it'll roll around.
Oh.
So those are some of the things where freestyle throwing different throws, you're not going to use it behind the back in freestyle and disc golf.
I think Bill Bowling does. Bill uses it behind the back.
Behind the back, okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the thumber grip, you can use a upside down thumber. Anybody here know Don Wilczek? Don Wilczek, he's from the late 70s. He had this awesome thumb roller. I mean, he could literally, 300 feet in, he could just throw a roller and it'll roll right around the pin.
Straight at the ground.
So good. He was so good. I'm pretty sure he's in the Hall of Fame. So that's a thumb grip for a roller. Another throw off of this thumb grip is overhand wrist. Now, when would you use an overhand wrist? You got bushes here and you're not very good with a forehand up here, and use an overhand wrist. And the reason I'm saying this is get out there and try different throws. You got different grips, just try them. And along with saying that, and Mason, you may see this, at Aragon, I'm like so amazed when I see new players just get out of their car, walk the hole one, and then start playing. They don't even warm up. I encourage everybody, get a throw disc, either something that's light, and just have a catch. Warm up with your partner before you get out there and throw, because that's an easy way to get hurt. And I think guys who've been playing a long time, they'll warm up, but I see a lot of new players. I'm hoping they're new players. They just get out of their car, go to hole one, and start throwing. So I don't recommend that.
They just have 30 minutes in between on a lunch break.
No, there you go. There you go. Okay. All right. So that's a good. I guess that's a good.
Give a benefit of the doubt.
But still, maybe like 10 throws each. So that's some of the things that you can use the freestyle throws and implement it into your golf game. I mean, you can get really creative once you get in the woods. You think about how I'm going to get out of this position. All right, so as far as freestyle, I'll show a little bit of freestyle. One thing about freestyle is it's not just these tricks where you're bouncing a rotating disc on your fingernail. It's really just having a catch, throwing behind the back, behind the head. Learn. For me, and I'm hoping for you guys, I love the flight of the disc, and with today's disc that goes so far, I love just watching them fly. So when you're playing, just having a catch, try different throws and different catches. Have a little fun with it. Warm up before you play your golf game. I asked this question earlier. Does anybody know how many spins there are? Think of a clock.
Okay.
There's 2.
Right, there's 2 spins, right? So there's a clock, righty clock, and then I'm predominantly counter. So I'll throw an overhand wrist to myself in practice. When you're alone, like I was lucky enough to have a brother and we both played a lot. So I had a partner. But when you're alone, you learn how to throw to yourself. And that's a counter. That's one of the basic tricks in freestyle, is just balancing a rotating disc over your, on your fingernail. One of the things that all freestylers use is artificial nails. So these nails, artificial, and players will glue them on their real nail. And why do they do this? In order to get in the rim without the disc touching your skin. It enhances the skin. And another thing is we use a silicone spray to enhance the spin to keep it spinning longer. You want to try?
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
All right.
Just hold up your finger.
Yeah, just hold your finger.
With 2 hands, 2 legs, you can spin one direction, you can spin the other direction, you can spin twice. You can come up with a lot of different moves.
There you go.
That's just basic freestyle.
He's like,
you can see you can see some of today's world-class freestyles on YouTube. Just put freestyle, Freestyle Players Association. By the way, I'm the director of education for freestyle. We do have an organization, and we'd love to see more people throwing and catching and maybe learning the advanced tricks. And that's another thing I'd like to talk about is, we're all disc golfers here, but really, as I said before, we all grew up playing, or at least when I was growing up, we all grew up playing Frisbee, and it was like we did everything. And I'd really like to see people do other events, distance, like I was talking about accuracy before. There's an event called MTA, Maximum Time Aloft. It's like a boomerang flight. And actually there might be an overall tournament in Tallahassee in October or November, first weekend in November. Would anybody be interested in going to that? It's overall. I'm on Facebook. If anybody wants to contact me, my name is Jens Velasquez. Contact me about anything about what I'm talking about today. I live right in Conquistador by Aragon that Mason was talking about. So I'm retired now. I have a lot of time. If anybody wants to, talk about it or learn how to throw, I'm here to do that. One other thing I'd like to talk about is, I don't want to keep you here too long, but does anybody here know what SOTG stands for?
Something on top.
SOTG stands for Spirit of the Game. What is Spirit of the Game? Spirit of the Game, there's 2 sports that started in Frisbee. Guts. Anybody here familiar with Guts?
Yep.
Guts is a game that was started in 1957 in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, where a family bought a bunch of Pluto platters, the first disc made by Whammo, and they made up this game where they stand about 14 yards apart, 3 to 5 people on each team. You throw it as hard as you can to the other team, and the other team can only catch with one hand. And deflections are good. Like if it comes off my hand and my teammate catches it, that's a good catch, so it's not a point. That's Guts. That was the first game invented. The second game is Ultimate. Ultimate started in New Jersey, Columbia High School. I'm from New Jersey. Columbia High School kids came up with the game of Ultimate, and now it's all over the world. Ultimate has a thing called SOTG, Spirit of the Game, because the guys who invented the game, these are high schoolers. They're 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. They grew up together, and they would never think, one of the guys that designed the game, that he said he would never think of cheating or doing anything like that against the guys that he grew up with. So they invented this game. It was kind of or I should say counterculture to the other sports, physical sports like football and soccer, where you're kind of hitting each other. And Spirit of the Game is integrity and fairness above winning. And I guess I'm gonna sound like I'm altruistic or more pro flying disc sports versus all other sports, but Frisbee sports is different. It's different than all other ball sports, and Spirit of the Game is one of the reasons. In fact, in Ultimate in high school, there are no referees. If there's a dispute on the field, the 7 high school kids versus the other 7 high school kids, they have to resolve it on the field on their own. Conflict resolution by these young kids. The coaches on the sidelines, they cannot intervene. It's the kids who make the decision. If they can't, if there's a rule that's in dispute, then they go to the coaches. But the play on the field, the kids have to resolve on their own. And that's one of the beauties of spirit of the game. And it's not just in Ultimate, it's in all this sport. And I hope it's in disc golf.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
anyway.
Oh yeah, it's good history. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to be here for a few more minutes if you want to ask me any questions.
We want to see these moves.